podcast. Podcast, good song.
Yeah, this sounds like something carrots could grow to.
Crunch into us.
What's up, Doc? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Fuck them.
Crunch.
We are surrounded by serialized art, from a film series with 7 sequels to a book series with 20 entries, from a television show where zombies tear people limb from limb to a band or musical artist 3-concept album arc. The possibilities are endless. Thus, this is something serial.
All right, I'm excited to talk about this. You wanna introduce the episode?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about The Dark Knight right now?
No, Batman Triumphant.
Oh, that's what it is.
Did you do any research?
No, but I have a Toppling Goliath brewery beer, and it's called Pseudo Sue, and pseudo is spelled like P-S-E-U-D-O.
Yeah. Kevin doesn't know how to spell pseudo.
U-E. That's the beer, Pseudo Sue. I can spell it. I proved it. Anyways, I just wanted to say that I have that, and I will. Can I tell you the amount of research I did? I'm sorry, audience. First of all, for not having done more. You know me. I'm an idiot, and
You're not an idiot.
Here's what I know: Joel Schumacher. The executives. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also,
Okay, I have extensive notes.
Perfect. Then you can tell. Yeah, that's great. Then this is going to balance out. Like all things perfectly balanced as all things should be. Hashtag Thanos.
Thanos.
Great movies. Great movies.
We just
So good.
in the first minute we're talking about another movie.
Infinity War is so good. They die for 5 years. Like it's not like there's no impact, even though they do ultimately come back. Like 5 years. Like
It's
imagine
rough.
if Trump just was disappeared, but like it took.
And then
Like,
he comes back and dies.
Yeah, you're like what? And then
Yeah.
So, okay, this is what I know. It was executives saw Batman and Robin. Like in the pre-screenings, and like we're like, we need to sign Joel Schumacher to a 5th movie, and because they're hyped about this thing. God knows why. I'm assuming cocaine and money knows why. Obviously, they are inanimate and thus unable to we can't talk to them about this. But a lot of drugs and money were like, yes, this is great. Let's double down. Let's triple down, I guess, at this point, and make Batman Triumphant. Get Joel Schumacher back. Joel Schumacher is like, A, yes. B, because I've changed Batman so many times and no one seems to give a shit about who the actor is, I'm going to sign Kurt Russell because he's vaguely Bruce Wayne. And so that occurred then. And
you're wrong there, but
I
keep
am
going.
Wrong. Okay.
Keep going.
Honestly, like that is pretty. I mean, I remember they had a couple villains attached again. I think Scarecrow was one of them. Okay, I see you smiling. I fucked up again. Damn it.
No, that's right. That's right.
It is right. Shit,
Yeah.
This is all from like a while ago, and I don't know. I guess to be, hearing the information I've said, obviously I said something wrong, which we'll elaborate upon. But the way I interpret all of that is like it's so interesting to me that like Warner Brothers are like James Bond. You switch every 8 years, let's say, or so. There's obviously exceptions to the rule, Timothy Dalton and George Lazenby.
And fucking Daniel Craig.
But, those are, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it.
Almost 20 years he's been James Bond.
I don't
That's
even want to talk about
insane.
that. It is crazy. It really is. But 15, it is 15 years.
Yeah.
That is still a feat. I mean, it is like 15 legitimate years because of this. It was supposed to come out in 2019.
I know.
November of 2019. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I just can't believe it. Do you know how long ago that was?
Well,
It's
can
like
we
545 days when it finally will be released, since it was supposed to be released.
Can we invest in MGM? Can that be the next thing that Wall Street Bets does?
Dude, they're so fucked. Yeah, let's squeeze them.
It's like $1 million a day they're paying to shelve this movie.
And there's a rumor out there that Apple was willing to buy it for $400 million. And you have got to wonder who the fuck said no to that. Because
well, it's because they're betting on more money than that. Because they
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the Spectre and Skyfall, I think, both crossed the $1 billion mark.
Because it's a world. The thing is, it's a worldwide phenomenon every time a Bond movie comes out, and I think this one's so hyped because, well, especially now, coronavirus, but also because it's Daniel Craig's last movie. It's tying it all together. It's you know, it's the longest one. It's got everything going for it, and there was buzz behind it before it even got delayed. So
all I know is this is so off topic at this point.
It's fine.
I would, at this point, with 100% sincerity, I assuming I get the vaccine, so like I feel safe. Like, I want to hallucinate and go see that movie. Like, drop some kind of insane amount of drugs, because I know this is crazy, but like, it is all those things you said, and it would be amazing to witness find a fucking Lee.
If Apple paid them $1 billion, and then they also got to keep like some other kind of, like when it goes on Blu-ray or something, like they get a cut of whatever it is. But that's the thing too, is like Sony owns Blu-ray, right? So I'm pretty sure Sony gets all the profits from that. So they would have to be like, well, no, because then people are just going to see it there. They're not actually going to buy it. They have to have, so it's all fucking crazy.
It's very jumbled. So many people are so fucked right now. I mean, not just people, obviously, and I don't even mean to characterize that as like funny, but like genuinely people are really fucked right now. But like also, like companies, like major companies. I mean, like MGM, like it's so. Obviously, you're right. Like it's a huge event when a Bond movie is released, but you got to hand it to them. They got some balls. Like they were offered $400 million to just be like, all right, like let's do this, and then they're like, nah, we want that $1 billion money, and we will hold on to it for over a year.
Well, I guarantee they've lost more than $400 million.
That is
on
what
this
makes
movie.
no sense to me, because I heard, and I feel like this is a rumor. I can't imagine a world where this makes any sense, and that is that they are reshooting the parts of the movie to include up-to-date product placement. Have you heard this? The first source I saw was not reputable, and I was kind of like, this sounds like bullshit. But it has caught some traction, and I technically it still hasn't been confirmed, I don't believe, but it was, the rumor's been around long enough where it's like, I kind of think they might actually fucking do this. If not reshoots, then like at least digitally inserting like the newest phone into Daniel Craig's hands.
I mean, that could be possible, but it could be because the things that they're advertising are giving them money, and the amount of money it costs to fix the movie is less than what they're giving them. So it could be just them floating it, longer. That would be the only excuse, I guess. Otherwise, they could just shelve it, not fucking touch it, and then just wait. But I think it makes more sense to be like, okay, well, here's some profit coming in, and we'll just do a little bit of work. And then, like, let's say they give them $100 million and it costs $50 million to fix it. Well, that's $50 million in our pocket.
Right. I have to say, though, this is a super amateur thing, but like I don't know anything about this, but like just think about this for a quick second. I mean, if we're talking about this, and that's
second.
Yeah, seriously, a serious second. I haven't had this in a long time. Super Bowl ads are selling 30-second spots for $5.5 million, right? That's like a thing. And you look at James Bond, which is another type of commercial, honestly.
Yep.
Obviously, it would be more ingrained in pop culture, so there's a longevity that you have to add into the price. But you say you estimate 100 million, and that it makes you really wonder what the companies would be paying to get this accomplished, because it seems like it just doesn't seem worth it to me. I don't think it would be 100 million. I must say, I think that's
no. I threw that number out,
and that's okay. But like at the same time, it makes you wonder, because like, what is it, like 5 million, 10 million? Regardless, is it worth it? Like, no one's gonna give a shit. I mean, they'll see the brand, and that's it. Personally, that's how I feel about this stuff.
I mean, it's also movies, and just how like product placement is a thing in movies, and it's like maybe they have a mutual relationship going, like I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, that kind of thing, that we just don't comprehend. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it could be true. It could not be true. We'll know when the movie comes out in 2025. But it's so funny. It's just like that movie got completed, and then Thanos snapped, and then 5 years later we'll finally get to see it.
I know, it sucks. That movie has been at the back burner. I mean, we've been talking about it for 10 months at least. And it's so interesting because, God, I say that a lot recently, it seems like, because everything is so interesting. But
what isn't?
I know. It's crazy. But, like, we love James Bond. And, like, we had an opportunity. It was so damn close. And
I know.
It gets delayed. It's like the third time it's delayed. It's just like...
Well, it's crazy because MGM doesn't put any other movies out. It's like James Bond, and then they're like, all right, well, we'll wait until the next one. It's so crazy.
I know. And at this point, they should just fucking sign Daniel Craig for fucking sixth one. Just do it. Because, like, they're not going to. But
no.
it'd be kind of fun for me, just because, like, it's been a hard fucking 8 years for everybody. And it's like, just, he's had time to recuperate. By the time this is released, you'd think the next one would be in production. And I'm sick of waiting fucking 5 years for this shit. Every single movie.
If they were smart, that's what they would be doing right now, is filming a new one with a new actor, but also complete secret. Don't tell anybody. And then it's a surprise where it's like, here's the last Daniel Craig movie, and here's the new movie that we made. And it's like, fucking what? Like, I would be seeing them both as a double feature. That's amazing.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And that's a great idea.
Thank you. But I mean, that's what I would do with that money that these advertisers are giving you, right? Like, you would be investing it into the next product, and you would double your money. That's $2 billion. That would cover all the money that you like wasted.
Triple down on that shit.
Yes. Yep. So
that's
I don't know.
So interesting. That's interesting because I mean, this kind of brings up GameStop a little bit too, and just the idea that excuse me, it's like you can if an average like person like you or me were in charge of a hedge fund, and we were like going to make a movie, I'm not saying like we personally would make the best decisions, but like, it wouldn't be any worse than what's out there at the same time.
I mean, how many movies have we rewritten on this podcast where we're like, well, this would be much better than what we got, and the only thing you have to weigh it against is what everyone fucking hated. So you're like, well, it can't be worse than that idea.
Exactly.
Go back and listen to our Wonder Woman 1984, because we really broke that down and restitched it together.
That was a long episode too, because there's so much going on in that movie that you can just dissect, and you're just like, what is going on with this?
Speaking of, Batman Triumphant has a lot going on.
Yes. So this is where I was coming up with my Bond. Oh my God, this is just like, we were on mushrooms once. And I'm so sorry, this is going to take 2 minutes. And I was still a smoker at the time, and you don't have to put this in. This feels really personal, but either way is fine. Anyways.
Is it something I did?
No. Nothing bad happens. Except for the mushrooms part. If you think that's bad.
I don't. Dude, it's fucking 10 months of being locked down. I don't care anymore.
It's all good. So, and at the time, I'm a tobacco smoker. I still love tobacco, but I don't smoke it because, like, I don't use it at all because it's bad for you. And I love it, though. It's great. And I was really into Parliaments at the time.
Yeah.
Gerrit, do you remember Parliaments at all?
I do. They're awful.
Now, why do you say that?
They're just not. Were they? Hold on. Some Parliaments are good. Were they menthol?
I believe so. They're like the blue pack. So yeah,
Fucking gross.
So.
Menthols are disgusting. Anyway, go ahead.
I do agree with you now. I wouldn't do that now. But at the time I was into them. And specifically, I loved the filter because the filter has like a small indentation in it where there's no filter. It's just paper. So you can bite it down on your teeth. And the story I heard was like if they were made for people in Vietnam. So like if you're gunning down like people, this is so violent.
You could smoke while you're doing it.
Right, but you're like biting down on your cigarette while you're doing it, and it's not going to ruin the filter or whatever because you have that little indentation.
It's so funny they prioritized that, but never worked on bulletproof vests.
I know, right? Or like figuring out the M16 because the mud would destroy it, or it wouldn't destroy it, but it would fuck it up, clog it up. And then the other story I heard, if you don't mind stories, is this cool?
That's fine. I mean, this is all in the carrot. Something serial will be like 4 minutes long, so that's fine.
No doubt. That's fine. I've had like 3 beers. I haven't eaten food yet, so I'm sorry. But the other thing that I heard was you take the cigarette, and it's like the 1980s, everyone's doing cocaine, or 2021, everyone's still doing cocaine, and you use the indentation to like scoop up cocaine and then snort it. So like there were like 2 things you could do with it.
It's funny. I know exactly what you're talking about on that indentation. It's like a little cylinder that like dips into the cigarette, so it's like it juts out a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah. Yep.
It's weird to describe because like it'd be like indentation
for the YouTube people. It'd be like that.
Exactly.
Like that's the end of
your fingers.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It is weird to talk about because like there's no technical term. It's like one brand of cigarettes does this.
Yeah.
It's like the fancy cigarette.
It's like the loop on a jacket, the inside of it that you hang on a coat hanger. You're like, what the fuck is that little loop called? Is it just a loop? Yeah.
You're like, so I'm just supposed to do this? Like, there's no name putting the jacket on this? Like, come on.
Let's just call it a cigarette filter cup.
I like it. Cigarette filter cup. It's essentially what it is. But, oh, geez. I don't even remember where I was going with this. Just the idea.
You were talking about when we were on mushrooms.
Batman. No, I got this. And this is so funny. It's Batman in Joel Schumacher's eyes, in Warner Brothers' eyes. They don't give a shit. Like whoever is Batman, it's not about the actor. It's about the scenery and like the sets and the spectacle. And I just the reason I think I brought up the Parliaments was because when I was on those mushrooms, it's like you have a heightened sense of like kind of a, like feeling or whatever. And I remember being like, I want this one specific Parliament. Like, I need this cigarette to get me through the night. Whereas with Warner Brothers, they're like, anything is fine. We're still making money. This is great.
Well, I would say you're right, but that's the part you were wrong about, is that George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell were both, and Joel Schumacher were signed to do the next movie. So it was still George Clooney.
Okay.
And here's where my notes begin. Joel Schumacher had several meetings with Warner Brothers trying to convince them to make another Batman movie. He wanted to take the film back to its darker roots and make a Batman Year One adaptation.
Wow.
Wanted to cast Kurt Russell as a young Commissioner Gordon.
Really?
Selena Kyle would be recast as a young black woman living in the ghetto.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. Warner Brothers decided not to rehire him, and the next film eventually became Batman Begins in 2005.
Really?
Yeah. Chris O'Donnell was confirmed in a 2012 interview that a Robin Nightwing spinoff was planned alongside the movie. Plans are scrapped after poor reception of Batman and Robin. And this is the thing, too, that I found so interesting, is that there were multiple different titles for this movie because there are multiple scripts that were going through consideration. Even after Batman and Robin had went out. Mm-hmm. Like, the original title of Batman and Robin was going to be Batman Triumphant. Then they shelved that name and considered it for the next movie, which is what we're talking about. A title consideration I didn't know. It was originally supposed to be titled Batman Forever with a number 4, because it's the 4th in this series.
So it'd be the same title, but with a 4.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing on IMDb I miss, where people would talk about, like, is that the same title then? Because phonetically it's the same, but written down is a little different.
Batman Forever, Batman Forever. Ugh.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, I found that so interesting that this had multiple titles. So it was originally Batman Unchained, and then Batman Triumphant was considered, and then they shelved that name for Batman and Robin because Robin was so well received from Batman Forever. And then after that, they were like, well, the next one will be Batman Triumphant. And then they went with Batman Unchained. And then Batman Year One.
Can we break this down for just a quick minute?
For sure. And then it just never became anything.
So I wanted to start at the beginning here because I feel like we haven't actually talked about this. And it's funny because we throw this title around a lot because we titled Vines Triumphant, like the third Vines going to be Vines Triumphant. And then
it is such a great subtitle. Like it would be so great.
That's what's funny. It's a great subtitle, but also it's terrible for a Batman movie.
Yes.
Why would they have latched onto that word specifically early in the process? That's what I don't get. It's awful. So Batman, the T in both Batman and Triumphant, it's like a triangle of like things going on.
T's.
Well, T's and things, but like the sound of T's. Like if you put Batman above Triumphant, it's like a triangle. And I kind of wonder if that's like it rolls off the tongue nicely, but it's also like the worst. Like it means nothing.
Yeah.
Batman Forever also means nothing, so they're almost cousins, and yet Batman Forever works for me. So I don't understand that.
Yeah. I mean, Batman and Robin is the worst title of all of them.
Dude, the thing is, I might have to disagree. The reason being, Batman and Robin is an iconic label, and I obviously I still maintain Batman Forever should have been Batman and Robin if they're going to keep that title, but it works. It's kind of like calling Fast, like, so there's the Fast and the Furious, and then the fourth one when they get the gang back together is
Fast and Furious.
Exactly. So it's simple but fun.
Do you want to hear this?
Mm-hmm.
Also, some of this information is coming from YouTube videos and IMDb, and I tried to go back and forth, like take little pieces from each one just to like make sure that it's accurate. So if something's not accurate, do some more research and find out. You can look at posters that people have made. The scripts are available because there's multiple different scripts that went around, and one of them, it still involved Batman and Robin feuding. So this was going to feature it again.
A trilogy
Kevin froze.
of Batman and Robin only feuding.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Am I back?
So yeah, Batman and Unchained would have actually, I'm going to say, oh shit, I don't have any, this is just from memory.
That's okay.
So they would have been fighting again, and then it would have been Robin going off on his own, and then that would have been the solo movie, the Robin / Nightwing project. That would have been the one that was like the same universe or whatever.
Right.
So 2 movies, Jesus. But Batman Unchained would have been a direct sequel with George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell reprising Batman and Robin respectively. There were no plans for Alicia Silverstone to return, even though some people, like if you look this up, you'll see a page that's on Wiki Batman something that'll say that she was supposed to return, but I couldn't find anything other than that confirming it. Scarecrow and Harley Quinn would have been the main villains. Cameos from past villains in the series appearing as hallucinations from Scarecrow's fear gas would have been happening. So you would have had the Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, all coming back. And I think Catwoman as well. They would have been like hallucinations, and the idea would have been a darker turn where he would, like Batman as George Clooney, would have to, relive all these things and try to break through the fear and like become a better person and hero kind of thing. That would have been so Batman Triumphant, but even then they were going with Batman Unchained, so that title doesn't even make sense with what they were going for.
Right,
so
in that case, Batman Triumphant would have made more sense.
Yeah, like once again, it's a bunch of people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So yeah,
it's weird. That sounds like something I've seen before in the first 4 Batman movies.
Yep.
Where Batman is trying to. It's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't love Batman battling
inner demons?
Yeah, like that. But that's all he does in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of bringing those people back and having a solid reason to bring them back through hallucinations. I mean, Scarecrow is a perfect vessel for exploring like whatever you want, really.
And that's why he was in Batman Begins, played by Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, well, that's why, because they're making the new Flash movie. It's like Flashpoint. They're involving Michael Keaton. I know Ben Affleck's returning for Justice League. I kind of thought he was returning for Flashpoint also. Do you remember reading that at all?
I don't know. I don't think that I heard he was.
Okay.
But I know that Michael Keaton is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, regardless, like you have somebody from Ben Affleck's universe in Ezra Miller, and then also Michael Keaton, and it's almost like Warner Brothers had the idea to link all of this together way back in the 90s.
They did.
Had all of those hallucinations. We talked earlier, a few episodes ago, about the Catwoman spinoff with Michelle Pfeiffer specifically that morphed into the Halle Berry version. So they had plans, like they had the foundation already set, and they were like actively trying to like get more out of it.
Well, I was going to say this. They were even planning on doing the Superman Lives. Batman and Robin was so terrible that it destroyed the prospects of Tim Burton's Superman Lives. That movie would have been a first attempt to have a shared universe between Batman and Superman, with George Clooney reprising his role as Batman and Nicolas Cage as Superman.
It's so unfortunate we didn't get to see Nicolas Cage as Superman. It's hard to understand.
Well, it just sucks because it's like a bookend on Tim Burton and Batman, because he would have been in doing Superman. That would have been so fucking cool.
I know. To say also, it would have been at the time Tim Burton was still good.
Yeah.
Which would have been interesting. And Nicolas Cage wasn't taking roles for the fuck of it. Like, he was still doing real things. He would have only won an Oscar like 3 years prior, somewhere around there. So, like, he's still at the top of the A-list in this scenario.
Did you see his swear word thing on Netflix? Have you seen
I
that?
haven't yet. I'd like to. It looks fun. His
should.
hairline looks amazing. I Googled it to see if there's any information about transplants. Yes, I'm that kind of person. I don't do this all the time. But he has a very recognizable widow speak.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's a style. I mean, like, that's who he is. And it was so weird to see him look like he was 30 again. And I was like, where was this not news?
Just a dyed beard. Yeah.
I know. It's all dyed beard and hair, and it's not news anywhere. It's nothing.
You should watch it. It's pretty fun. Fuck. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Back to Batman Triumphant. So yeah, parts of the plot that I was listing became Batman Begins and were reworked for 2015's video game Batman Arkham Knight. And this is where I don't understand.
That's a great
something. Nick Cage was thrown around as Scarecrow, which is weird because he was supposed to be Superman for Superman Lives, and Superman Lives is like, you can find him in the suit and with the wig thing, and it's like,
he has long hair in it.
Yeah, it's real. Like, that's real. I don't know if they were considering him seriously, or maybe this was before that. I don't know, but
So, I'm sorry. I think I might have misunderstood. Are you saying that there's footage out there of Nicolas Cage as Scarecrow, like doing costume?
No, there's footage of
Superman.
It's Superman, yeah.
Right. Okay. Just making sure. That was in pre-production though. I mean, they were building
Yes.
sets. Like, they were doing everything.
I know, yeah. That's what's crazy. Like, this canceled that, but then I don't know why. So it's like, did that get canceled? And then it's like, well, I guess we could have him do Scarecrow. And it's so strange.
Right.
Someone else or two other people, Madonna or Courtney Love, were supposed to play Harley Quinn.
Oh God, those are
weird.
the most obvious and terrible choices of all time.
I know. Like, Nick Cage is like, oh, that could be interesting, and then Madonna or Courtney Love, and you're like,
no.
Why?
Man.
Yeah. So after poor box office returns and reception for Batman and Robin, one of the scripts was Batman Unchained, a script written by Mark Protasevich. He's the one that
he did Poseidon and I Am Legend.
Did he do Batman and Robin?
No, he did not.
Interesting.
No, Batman and Robin was, I think, strictly Akiva.
Oh, he did Batman Forever.
Akiva Gold. Oh my God, help me with the name here. I'm thinking of Akiva Schaffer from The Lonely Island.
Akiva Goldsman.
Ah, that's who it is. Akiva Goldsman, who did The Client and A Time to Kill. And he won an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind. That's my IMDb trivia for you all today.
And those are all true.
Those are all true. I don't even have to fucking look at that shit.
So Mark Protasevich, he was Batman Forever, right? He was helped with the script on that one?
Did he? Are you looking at it? Because I didn't think so. I thought that he was involved late in the process for like... I vaguely remember the Batman Triumphant thing, like that being a thing. But I don't believe he was involved in the writing process of the other ones.
I could have swore he was.
If I'm proven wrong. I just want to throw that out there.
I'll look it up really quick. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. I do remember, I have to say, like, his name kind of came out of nowhere for that 2006-2007 season where he did Poseidon and I Am Legend. And it's like, where do you come up with these names? And I feel like I don't want to talk on my ass, but I feel like he was even hired to do like an early treatment of Thor. And it's just weird. It really comes to mind. We maybe should do an episode on this. And that is how Hollywood screenwriters seem to just bounce around and they seem to make good projects, bad projects. They're around for 20 years. What's going on, you know?
So I found out he's not involved in Batman at all. This is the only one that he did.
Okay, cool. Okay.
He wrote The Cell, Poseidon,
Yep.
I Am Legend, Thor.
He did do Thor. Okay.
Old Boy, and then Freak Show, which is it's announced, but that's it.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Isn't that strange? How it's such few credits, big budget ideas or movies credited to him, and it's like, what the hell is going on there? Like, how did that happen? Who does he know?
The one that he was supposed to do was that was the one I was talking about. I'm sorry. So the one with Harley Quinn, and one of the things that I heard someone saying was like her origin story has changed, where she's supposed to be like obsessed with the Joker, and the movie starts like 10 years prior, so it's 1989, and she reads on the paper that the Joker is killed, and she vows to kill Batman or something. So cut forward 10 years, and then that's where the movie takes place, and she meets up with Scarecrow and all that stuff. And it's fucking Looney Tunes, but whatever. So that was Mark Protasevich, I'm pretty sure. There was another that was an adaptation of the graphic novel Batman Year One, and the last one was a live-action adaptation of Batman Beyond. And Batman Beyond's plot synopsis on IMDb says, fueled by remorse and vengeance, a high schooler named Terry McGinnis revives the role of Batman under supervision of an elderly Bruce Wayne. He fights crime in a harsh, futuristic Gotham. So
have you ever seen any of those episodes?
I've never watched the show. I've never seen any of those things.
I liked Batman Beyond back in the day.
Yeah?
I'm not like a huge fan, I have to say. But I do recall watching a few episodes and being like, this is really cool. And having my main outlet or inlet to that was the straight-to-video movie called Batman Beyond Return of the Joker.
Ah, okay.
Which I want to say was PG-13. I don't think it was R. I certainly know it was at least PG-13. But it stuck in my mind because, you know, they advertised it as like, hey, this animated movie is this
better than Batman and Robin.
I know, it really was. I mean, I remember it still because I used to watch it a lot. But They were making a movie. I think Keanu Reeves was considered for the role of Terry McGinnis on that one. I believe.
I do know that some of the Sub-Zero, that's one of them, right? Batman Sub-Zero.
That's on HBO Max. I have that in my watch list. It's only an hour.
Ooh. Well, maybe we can do an episode.
Maybe we should. You should. I mean, it takes an hour.
Watch it.
It'd be super fun to watch. I genuinely would like to see it.
I know the thing with Mr. Freeze, it could be in like an addendum or addition to Batman and Robin talk, because some of that stuff that was in that was reused in Batman and Robin.
If that's
for
the
Mr.
case,
Freeze,
we should just look at the Mask of the Phantasm.
Is that another Mr. Freeze one?
No, that's the only theatrically released animated Batman movie.
Okay.
From it's still the same style actors as Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. But it's really good. It's actually,
I've heard it's great.
Quite good. I watched the first half, I want to say like 2 months ago. I'm terrible at finishing things, so don't hold that against my opinion of it. It's definitely a solid movie.
Well, maybe we'll have to watch the animated. Maybe that'll be the next step of the Kerrit.
That's not a bad idea because
okay. I've never watched them, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of the animated series, and it was recently, a couple weeks ago. Not even a couple weeks ago, like a week ago, and it was awesome. They were great.
Okay,
they're fun. I mean, they're not bad. I guess that's the best way to put it. Is like
you're just surprised. You're like, this isn't bad.
Yeah, like I kind of want to watch another one. Like this isn't bad, and I'm having a good time. And isn't that all you really ultimately want from any entertainment endeavor?
Yeah. Hopefully, this is entertaining to people.
Indeed.
I don't know how long the episode is because we rambled for a while before we started talking.
Yeah. About nonsense.
I think we're almost at an hour. I don't think I have anything else to say about Batman Triumphant. I mean, those ideas, Batman Triumphant, Unchained, and the Year One adaptation. I'm glad that none of these got made. To be completely honest, I'm glad Batman Begins is like a restart and and starting it over. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think it's just so interesting to look at these 4 movies, because they're all so very different. Like there was no through line. It's so strange.
Yeah.
Like
even if they're repeating actors, like if you can ignore that and like the repeating talents,
yeah.
I mean, they are very, 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 very different.
There's
hints of each other in each one, but they're just so different at the same time.
There's allusions to things like in Batman Forever, he talks about Catwoman, and then in Batman and Robin, he has the Batman Forever card, and you're like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And it's so and also Robin, obviously, but
the American Express, I think, is what it was.
What did I say?
You said the Batman Forever. It does say Batman Forever.
Yeah.
I thought it was an American Express. I don't know for sure.
I never leave home without it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought the quote was from.
So weird. So I guess the biggest question, I think we can end on this, is what would you do with, and what would we call it after Batman and Robin, and what would you do with it? What would be your...
Easy. You hire Joel Schumacher again. No. I'm not kidding. Yes. You stick with his view of making it darker. He was on the right track with Batman Forever. What they needed to do was sort of like, I don't think double down is the right phrase in this context. It'd be more like of a escalation, which is what doubling down is. It would be an escalation though, and it would be it'd be doing what Batman and Batman Returns did, where Batman, it is a dark movie, but if you watch Batman Returns, it takes things like up a notch.
Yes. And
Batman Forever is insanely campy compared to those, but still darker than Batman and Robin. Mm-hmm. And they should have used that and just gone. It didn't work for Batman and Robin, so in this situation, we would be doing the 5th one, and they would go higher than that, like, lower than both of them, go darker, but still kind of fun, so it's still in the same universe.
What you're saying is a bridge between Batman Returns and Batman Forever. That's what this one should be.
That's what it would look like. It'd be like another step down darkness-wise from Batman Forever.
Yes.
So it'd be combining the elements of the two.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's what he was going for.
I agree. I mean, it sounds like it from what you said, and like you should have, you know, look. I don't know their finances at the time, but it is so crazy to me that Warner Brothers literally were like, "We'll just deuces on this." Like Chris Brown, what's up? When what you could have done was follow through, stick the landing, and make all. You have everything together. You have like the personnel and like the ability to make this happen, and like the kind of the momentum, and you lost sight of it. And it's just so. It's like, dude, you these are hundreds of millions of dollars we're talking about, and it's right there. You have everything in place.
What would you call it?
So Triumphant, terrible. Unchained is awful.
That's even worse. Yeah, I hate that title.
They're both terrible. Just so I don't give a fuck what you call it. Like just the fucking Batman bitches. Like that's fine. Would probably be better.
Batman Legacy.
Better.
There's
Like,
so many movies that are called Legacy though, and they're dumb, unnecessary.
Not back then.
True. We're going back in time. Okay.
I remember, back in the day, I had like a lunchbox and it had Batman featured, and he was in like a virtual reality like simulation in the artwork. I want to say it was Batman Endgame, but I think that was just Avengers Endgame.
Well,
dude,
something
like that. It was something like that.
Well, what about? I think Batman Forever is a take on Batman Returns. Like Batman Returns, he's back, and then Batman Forever, he's always going to be here. I think that's the idea behind that title, and that's why it works. I think Batman and Robin, if it was called Batman Triumphant, and it was if the fourth one was actually the darker plot, like they did like an on-off, I think that would have been great, and we still might even be running with that same franchise today.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. It's certainly...
But they shit the bed with the toy companies and made Batman and Robin. So now we have to salvage the pieces and make Batman...
Balls?
No.
Batman balls.
Batman and Robin and Batgirl. There's another ampersand and then another character.
That genuinely was what I thought they would call the next one when I was like 8 and I saw that movie. I was like, so it's Batman and Robin and Batgirl. That's the next one. Ironically, what an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know, Batman Legacy. I mean, that, it's easy. I like the idea of the plot being the hallucinations. I think I really like that idea. But I don't know about Harley Quinn being in it, because there's no Joker for her to bounce off of. And I think the origin that they came up with in that one script is fucking trash.
You mean Suicide Squad?
Yes, that's trash as well.
Because it is bad. It is bad.
Don't you have Clayface in your head? We've alluded to that a couple times.
Well, that's the one who I would like to see. Yeah, I think that's a... The thing is with Joel Schumacher, the thing that you'll never get in any of the current incarnations, so it's going to be... I mean, I would conservatively estimate, let's say 15 years before we see Batman battle like a supernatural villain. Like he's always had these human-based people, and they keep recycling them. Like Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, Joker. They're all characters that are like, oh, it's like the classic Rogues Gallery. It's like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, show me motherfucking Clayface. Show me dude who can fucking rearrange his body molecules.
Well, it's crazy. It's crazy to fill the kids in on who Clayface is, and me.
So Clayface, actually just watched this on Batman the Animated Series, but it's basically just a guy who, like, in the animated series, he is an actor whose face looks to be an actor, and he's constantly putting this cream on his face to make himself look better. And what it ends up doing is melting his body or his face, and so he falls into an entire vat of this stuff, because vats seem to be around.
Yeah,
like I gotta create a hero / villain. Let's throw him in a goddamn vat.
Isn't it funny? There are two vats in Batman and Robin. There's the vat that Mr.
Like
Freeze falls into, and then the green slime vat that Robin falls into. Nothing happens to Robin, by the way.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true. Joker fell into a vat.
Fell into a vat.
Actually, in Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn falls into a vat,
and Joker jumps in after.
Dude, I mean, if we can branch out of DC, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Jamie Foxx falls into a vat
of electric eels. What were they doing in there?
Ridiculous. But like that's what he does on the animated show. I mean, it works in the show. I mean,
yeah.
How do you do this otherwise? Truly, I mean, it's impossible. This is
that's the thing is, I think if they would have linked this with Superman Lives, I mean, because it's Superman Lives, you got some supernatural elements that you're finally putting in there, and the fact that in DC they could do it now because they have Wonder Woman, they have Superman, they have the Flash. Now we're getting some elements of supernatural kinds of things. I think that you can actually branch out to be doing that and make it believable, but you'd have to have people like you and I behind the scenes to actually make it come to fruition, because we've seen bad movies and we know how to not make them.
Exactly. Right. You have to just avoid a couple of simple pratfalls.
Yep. Or vats.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Don't fall in that vat. Don't fall into a vat of stupidity.
Don't fall in that vat of disinformation.
It's called Facebook, Garrett.
I'm sorry. It's called Facebook, Twitter. All right.
Social media. But, dude, you know, that's the one thing I'll always miss, I think, is the biggest missed opportunity of all is Schumacher continually was upping the ante in villains. And I just feel like we're never going to see those crazy villains again.
No.
We had a chance, and we blew it. It's like the Buffalo Bills.
What a bummer. I mean, but you can see it happen in certain movies and you're like, this is too much now. That's the thing. It's like, oh, this isn't a good villain because there's too much of something.
You know,
like Wonder Woman 84.
I feel like you're speaking truly to missed opportunities, but like those missed opportunities that like they only work in a specific decade.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about the fact, like, I remember in 2007, I Am Legend came out, and so in 2007, when I Am Legend comes out, there's like a billboard for Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
And at the time, they were talking about it. Josh Hartnett as Superman and Wolfgang Peterson in the directing as the director. Like, that was real possible stuff. Obviously didn't get made. Flash forward 9 years and it's released, obviously, with Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. But like, we could have had it. I know. And it would have been before the glut of superhero movies all following that similar formula. Before we're sick of it with that different style that was popular at the time, especially in the 90s specifically. I'm talking about like if we had another Batman movie. So, you know, you kind of are like, oh, that sucks, it didn't get made. But then you start thinking about it and you're like, dude, seriously though, like that would have been another really interesting relic of the era to look into. For sure. It definitely, I mean, that would have been, it's so strange though, because it's like Batman and Robin and Spawn is also a comic. And what else came out around that time? Blade, yeah, that's right? A huge one. I don't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a little before that, I suppose. There's another is right there. Well, that's what I was gonna say, but there's another one that's like right in that area, like 97, Steel? 98. Steel? Huh? Steel? Did you ever? Oh, God, no. No, it's not worth it. Well, there's the Lois and Clark show, right? Yeah. There's the Batman animated series. There's the Spider-Man animated series. X-Men animated series. Those are early 90s. There's so many other... What? Those are great. Those are terrific. Yeah. But I know there's like another movie, but I really feel like Batman and Robin killed the whole thing. Because they were planning Superman Lives, like I said. But... Oh, The Phantom. That's another one I was thinking of. Oh, that's a great example. Yeah, it's like all these things just destroyed like comics. Like comic book movies. It was just like, nope, fucking nope. And then X-Men, it's almost like... revitalized that shit.
it's revitalized, but it's also still in that same, like, the fight between Sabretooth and Wolverine is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the fight at the Statue of Liberty is preposterous. And it's almost like it's Batman and Robin dialed back. Mm-hmm. But it's still a good movie. Like, I think there's still a good movie in Batman Forever. It's not amazing, but it feels like that a little bit, but also not as flashy and kind of muted. And then Spider-Man comes out, and then it's like, you know, over the top Sam Raimi, and all that stuff kind of gets the ball rolling again. Mm-hmm. And then Batman Begins comes out and changes the whole game. Mm-hmm. So then everything's going around that, and then Marvel actually starts coming out with their own movies.
Yeah.
So
that's truly incredible observation, because I mean, you're right though. Like, seriously, because, you know, Spider-Man 1 is only 5 years after Batman and Robin. That is not that long.
No.
Considering how long it takes certain projects to become realized.
Mm-hmm.
And then Batman Begins is 3 years after that, and that started the ultimate trend that we see today, I think.
Yep.
At least in the DC movies, where they're like trying to make everything quote unquote serious. And I mean, X-Men does it too. I mean, that's a serious movie franchise, or at least movie. I mean, everything except for, once you get to like Dark Phoenix and garbage. But,
Apocalypse. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Ugh.
I know. There's only like 3 good X-Men movies, maybe 4. No, 5. 5.
1, 2, First Class, Days of Future Past.
Oh, Logan is really good though.
Oh,
too.
yeah, but I mean, well, then you can kind of count the Wolverine.
Oh, totally. I would agree with that too.
So, but they're like,
that's literally it.
Yeah. Oh God.
The first Wolverine movie is so bad, it's like I forget about it. Like, they're like talking about the Wolverine franchise. I'm like, yeah.
There's 2 movies in there, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe they killed him in the second movie.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you'd think there'd be a third one. Like, kill him in that one.
Oh, man. Well, this was fun.
This was fun. I hope that everyone had a good time.
I did. I had a great time. It's good talking to you.
Good talking to you, too. Is there anything? Should we end on any notes? Like,
go buy Joe Bates' album. I listened to it. It's pretty great. Joe Bates by Joe Bates.
Yep. I do appreciate listening to Joe Bates by Joe Bates. Oh God, what else is there? That's about it. I don't have anything to rep. Oh, Search Party, for the love of God, HBO Max subscribers, please watch Search Party.
Okay, I'll watch that tomorrow along with the Batman.
Please do it. I can't tell you enough. It is like perfection. It's just perfection. I feel like I'm hyping it up too much. I can't even help myself, because I just like, it's just crazy.
Search Party.
Crazy. Search Party. Alia Shawkat, dude. Terrific.
Well, if you can't remember the name of it, just be like, what am I searching for? Oh, search.
LOL.
Oh, okay.
And then do the exactly. Is that Popeye?
Popeye.
Okay, nailed it. Awesome. In that case, we'll just end on that note. And
if you're listening on Anchor or Spotify, wherever, subscribe and write a review. If you're on Apple Podcasts, and if you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit that bell, ring the bell for notifications, smash that like button.
I don't care either way, but definitely talk to me about Batman returns to the store to return some pop cans.
Wow, good job.
That's not a good title. We'll work on that.
Tell everyone you know about us, because we're fucking great. So.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.